Right, welcome everybody. As advertised, this is a different talk to that we were going to do. One of our colleagues that were going to talk couldn't make it. I won't talk too much about Ditech Group because we can do that in the panel discussion, and we're just outside here if you want to come and talk to us. We are predominantly an Autodesk reseller, trainer and implementer, but today I'm not going to talk about Autodesk at all, so hang around. We are based in Ireland, but also in the UK. Just to give you a very quick background on me, I won't talk too much about myself. I've been in the construction industry for nearly 37 years now. I know I don't look old enough, but I honestly have. I'm a chartered civil and structural engineer. That's predominantly my background, but now obviously I work for Ditech in implementing BIM and digital strategies for organisations. Jonathan was here earlier. I don't know if you all heard his talk or not, talking about the importance of having a digital strategy. I'm going to try and extend that talk a little bit and just talk to you a little bit about how that fits into overall business strategy and why that's so important for success. So we're going to start right at the top here. Global megatrends, the things that affect every single one of our organisations and every single one of our personal lives. They're big things that go on. You can all see these. We're all affected by these. We need to think about how our organisation is affected and impacted by these. And all of you guys will be aware of some of this to an extent. Losing another one, not to worry. You know, one of the big things that we see now is material, resource, supply chain issues, getting staff, retaining staff. It affects us all. And urbanisation and that recycling of materials in that urban context. It impacts all of our businesses. If we don't understand that, we don't understand what we're trying to achieve with our organisations, and we won't be successful in what we're trying to achieve. Obviously, breaking that down another layer to things that do directly impact us, and you can see scarcity of skilled labour. That is the number one topic that all of our big clients are struggling with on a day-to-day basis. They know what they want to do, they just haven't got the staff to service the projects, to service the change that they want to achieve. Sustainability. Who of us here hasn't got sustainability targets with their business? Every single one of us, and personally probably as well. New materials, self-repairing concrete, 3D printed bridges. How do we incorporate that into our existing workflows? How do we make that meaningful in what we're trying to do? And lots of building codes and things like that coming along that we all have to wrestle with on a day-to-day basis. I pull out sustainability as a particular one. There is no organisation in the world that hasn't got ESG difficulties, strategies, plans that they've got to achieve. Net zero, there's a whole stage over there dedicated to net zero. We're all trying to hit this in our own way, and we're all achieving it in our own different ways. But the important point here is you can't have a digital strategy over here that one team are trying to deliver and a sustainability strategy over here that a separate team are trying to deliver. It's a very, very strong case of saying a digital strategy is a sustainability strategy. Aligning those and trying to make sure you're not replicating effort, you're not fighting against each other is a really strong play. And the one that I haven't got a slide on is also business strategy. Almost all businesses, apart from perhaps charities and that, you're trying to make a profit in an increasingly complex, difficult environment. You're going out and investing in Trimble, Autodesk, Tekla, whatever, but you need to understand how that is going to relate to achieving your business goals. Otherwise, you will fail. It won't work. You won't get C-level buy-in to go out. The software, the hardware, isn't cheap, it is expensive. So we need to be thinking about how we're going to sell it to the C-level. I've been into the C-level and asked for several £1 million before for an investment. You have to have an ironclad return on investment case of how that's going to move your business forward and not just achieve digital transformation, achieve business success, environmental success, win more business and do more business more profitably. Absolutely critical. We can't think of these things in silo anymore. Sorry, just checking the time. So a digital strategy, Jonathan spoke a lot about this, so I won't go into too much detail. Your business needs a digital strategy. Absolutely. There's no point in going out and spending money on software or hardware without having a digital strategy about how that is going to impact your business. The return on investment for your stakeholders, shareholders, whatever they are, you have to make sure that that is absolutely ironclad, because you need that C-level to support you. Because implementing software successfully, and on the panel I'm going to ask a colleague from Trimble there to talk about that a little bit. If you haven't got C-level buy-in to actually implement this effectively in your business, it's not going to fail, because you need resources, you need time, you need training, you need people to go out and do that, and you need that support to do that. And connecting it all. I can't push this home hard enough. We can't think in silos anymore as a business. I started doing BIM implementation 15 years ago. It was a hobby job that sat alone, and it was the CAD team that sort of took on the BIM mantle. We didn't really talk to anybody else in the business about it. We were just doing it ourselves. We were standardizing AutoCAD, trying to move to 3D. No thought about what the impact on the business would be, positively and negatively, the wider resource we needed, and how we sold that into the C-level to really drive change in the business and get them invested on board and willing to spend a bit of money on these activities. Really quite challenging. I think a lot of us, and Jonathan and myself, probably learnt some hard lessons in not joining these things up. And going back to those global mega trends, none of those are solvable by digital transformation. None of those are solvable by ESG, by having a good business plan. It's solvable by all of those working together and being aligned and achieving maximum efficiency. And, little plug for Diatech, it's what we do day in, day out. We try and backfill the lack of knowledge in existing organisations to help you write those strategies. So when we sell you something, and we do try and sell you something at the end of the day, that will happen at some stage, but we know we're selling you the right thing to move your business forward, and we're there to hold your hand through setting it up, implementing it, training your teams, integrating it into your business processes. So when you're ready to renew, you come back to us, because we've grown trusted as trusted advisors with you. We're not going to throw you a load of boxes of Revit and run away and never speak to you again. That doesn't work anymore. You won't come back and talk to us anymore. And that's true of all software vendors. I think we've all understood the need to evolve and become more integrated into your business and understand your business needs and business drivers to sell you the right thing. And just perhaps some presentations are all about the sunshine and roses and the perfect sunny future of it all. There are lots of things that can go wrong. And I think I've probably, between myself and Jonathan, probably personally experienced all of these. Because I didn't understand what change management was 20 years ago. I thought you could just tell people to start using Revit and you were good to go. That doesn't work. You have to encourage them, explain the need for change, help them make the change through training and implementation and communication and talking. Absolutely essential. Budget constraints. We're all working on tight margins, making sure that we spend the right money on the right things that actually are going to make a difference to that budget, going to make a difference to those budgets and free up a bit of cash to do the next thing. Lack of expertise. I remember the first time I saw Revit, and I thought, I'm sorry, I'm happy with 2D AutoCAD. I'll stay here. I don't want to move. I didn't get the training. Here's Revit, away you go. That's a recipe for failure. Putting the training and the support and those bits and pieces in place mean that that's more successful. And also, what's right for you this year might not be right for you next year. Business evolve rapidly. Your business isn't the same as it was last year, ours isn't, and it won't be the same as it is next year. You'll have different constraints, different pressures, new projects, and we have to work with you, and you have to work with yourselves to understand actually, last year this was a priority, but we need to shift our focus over here. And really, we like to work with you. Hopefully you're working with yourselves to understand what those shifting needs are and where the next big blocker and barrier is. Upskilling and recruitment, as I said at the start, every single person I've spoken to here today and for the last 6 months cannot recruit quick enough. They can win the work, but they cannot get the right staff through the door who are willing to do it. And we haven't got a magic button that fixes that with digital transformation and digital strategy. But through being better with your workflows, reducing rework, getting rid of those red line drawings in the office that only goes through the process once, means that your staff are more efficient, so you're producing more with less people. And that's probably the best way that software and hardware, not just Autodesk, everybody's software, actually can add the best value to your business at the moment. It's making what you've got more efficient and getting your team to create more without having to upskill or grow the team massively. There's a lot there. And in summary, it really is about pulling all of those different threads together. And I've whizzed through this and, sustainability, digital transformation, change management. I could talk to you for several hours each on. You'd probably fall asleep after a while, I admit, but we'll get there. But they're all really deep dive subjects, and you can have a subject matter expert on all of those, but they need to be sitting together regularly, comparing notes, seeing where there's synergies, where there's win-wins for digital transformation and sustainability and business growth. They're the areas that your business needs to be focusing on now, but also having an eye on what's next. And again, this is where we can help you come in with that expertise, but hopefully you're having internal conversations and you're starting to de-silo these workflows yourself. But if not, we're absolutely here to help, and our stand's just out there, and myself and Jonathan are around for the rest of the day. And I think we've got a panel in a few minutes, and I finished just a couple of minutes early. Are there any questions now, or do you want to wait to the panel, or have I explained everything so perfectly there are no questions? I've explained everything so perfectly there are no questions. Always good to hear.